does it say? All right. Hey, Healed Squad. Give it a few minutes, see who hops on. Let me see if it's sending out notifications. Okay, there it goes. It just sent it out. Let's see if somebody. If you're new here, please let me know where you are coming from. I hope everyone has had a great holiday. And if you guys did anything today in celebration, give it a few seconds. Okay. Hello, hello. Can I see the chat? This is only my second time going live, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Let me know if you can see if you can hear me. Okay, yeah, you can hear me. You can hear me. All right. Hello, as you come in, please say hello so I can see that you're there and I can greet you. Just want to hop on and do a Q&A, answer any questions on any of the content or any questions that you guys have. Okay, hey, hey, how are you? Hope you're having a good holiday. And as you come in, tell me where you guys are watching from. I guess I'll leave that up. I don't know. Oh, that's not my New York. Hey, New York. I know are you in the city? Because I know it's crazy up there right about now with the parade and everything. All right. Okay. North New Jersey. What would be considered North New Jersey? Give me a city. I used to live in Camden, but I don't know if that's considered North New Jersey. Okay. Okay. Elmwood Park. Okay. Okay. I haven't been to Jersey. The last time I was in Jersey was a few years ago to visit some family. Camden is South New Jersey. Okay, okay. That's where I lived when I was a little girl for a split second I lived in Camden. How y'all doing tonight? Be sure I don't know. This is like my third time going live. So if you can heart it, if you can share it so it can be pushed out and other Heal Squad members can come on and love to do a Q&A with you guys tonight. There's a lot going on. I had wanted to do a couple of videos this week and I wasn't able to get to it. So I just decided that I would come on and do a Q&A. And as you come in, I see our numbers are growing a little bit. Let me know that you're there and where you're from. But I wanted to do this video for the membership, but I think I'll just maybe just, instead of the membership, talking about as it relates to being a single woman, right? I did the video about um stop raising your daughters to serve grown men. And I had talked about in that video, just in case you haven't watched it yet, about how many girls are raised to, like, everything is about one day you'll have a family, one day you'll have a husband, and the things that little girls are kind of instilled in us before we have the opportunity to really develop our frontal lobe and be able to rationalize things. And I really think that our overdevelopment has also led to an underdevelopment in our partners. And for some women, some single women that I work with, they talk about that, right? They talk about having a very hard time um, finding a person who is healthy, right? Who is willing to be in the relationship and do the work with them as it relates to, and when I say do the work with them, I mean, that comes with relationship, that comes with raising children, that comes with merging your life with another person, that comes with you being able to evolve, right? Some of the ladies I work with are married, and especially if you get married young, you want to grow with your person, but they're having a difficult time because many of us, there has been an indoctrination as it relates to how we're supposed to show up, what it means to be a wife. Someone said to me today, they're like, "You're wifey material." And I said, "What does that mean?" Right? Because quite often, wifey material is defined by society, it's defined by men, but it's not defined by the person who has to fulfill the role. And I think for many women, it would be so nice to be able to define how it is that we want to show up. And I see women doing that. I see women making the decision on how it is that they want to show up, how they want to live their life. And you guys can, hey, I don't want to mispronounce your name. Is it Ao? Is that how you pronounce it? And feel free to ask me any questions. I'm just chattering until someone asks me a question. Hey, you haven't missed much. This is only my third live. So Ayo. Okay, okay, okay. This is on my third live. So you haven't missed much. I get nervous doing live, so that's why I don't do it often. I would rather record and then post than do it live. So try to flex a muscle here or and grow in being able to go live and interact with you guys because I really desire to build a community here on YouTube with the Hill Squad. I really do. I think community is important, and I get the opportunity to work with some of you, and you guys live in different parts of the world, and this could be a way that we can all like come together at one time. But going back to what I was saying, I just feel like as it relates to being a woman, like being a wife, a woman, a mother, a lot of that is not defined by us. There's a lot of pressures. I remember when I think it was a couple of weeks ago when Emma Grede mentioned that she spends like 3 hours with her children. It's intentional time. And there was a lot of backlash as it relates to that. And I think that in society, depending on, I'm going to say here in the US, um, that wife and motherhood is esteemed over just womanhood and personhood. And so there's a lot of conversation and judgment and critique about how a woman decides to show up, right? If a woman says, like, listen, I am multifaceted, multi hyphenate, I have many things that I want to do with my life. And I'm intentional with my children at this time, then there's pushback on that. Um, when I don't believe there should be. I believe that you should be able to live your life on your terms and define life how you want to. And many of us have were given a blueprint of a life that doesn't feel good to us. And I just want to encourage you to become who you want to become and to do the things that you want to do, even the things that they tell you that you can't do. Go after them and do those things. Not to prove anything to anyone, but I believe that many women are living under their purpose, under their power, under their influence. I believe many women are playing life safe, and many women are disgruntled with life, but we're caught between a rock and a hard place because if you really go for it, society has a way of not always applauding you, right? Every woman who's made history, the applause wasn't necessarily in her generation. It was the generations that came after that really saw her work, that really valued her work, that understood the impact of her work. Sometimes when you decide, or you have been not just decide, you've been created to be a trailblazer, that can be a very hard and lonely place. Um, and it may cause you to shrink back, but I just want to encourage you, right? Like, do not shrink. I don't know. I mean, I don't care if it's just at work in your career. There could be some um things that you are creating or whatever. Like, don't shrink back in life. Life is too short for you to have any regrets. So go after it and live the life of your dreams because We only have one. And many of us have lived life pleasing others. That's why I did um the villain era videos, because many of us have been conditioned to please others. Many of us are living a life to please others, but we're not pleased ourselves. So yeah, but if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat and I would gladly we can have some coaching tonight. If you like, we can have some coaching tonight. So if you have any questions, thank you guys for the thumbs up. Please heart it, because I think if you heart it, it sends it out more. I don't know though. I don't know. I'll be on other people's lives like, how does this work? Which is crazy. Um, how can I release the anger that I hold against the men in my past relationships? That is such a good question. So this is what I think. I believe in forgiveness. I know some people don't, but I believe in forgiveness. I'm a proponent of forgiveness. And what forgiveness is when you wipe off the debt that someone owes you. But I would ask you, is it truly anger or is there some disappointment? So anger is usually a secondary emotion. It's the emotion that comes up first, but there's other emotions under it. So you have to first ask yourself, why am I angry? Am I angry because I was deceived? I was betrayed? Am I angry because the relationship didn't work out the way that I believed it was going to work out? Am I angry because I overgave in the relationship? I self abandoned in the relationship? Do I feel like this person took from me and took advantage of me? Is that why I'm angry? Or is it not that I feel the anger, but there's really maybe fear under there, fear that I'll never be in a relationship, maybe fear that I made a mistake of disconnecting from the relationship. And so you have to look at why you're angry and address that, but also the other subsequent emotions under it. Okay. I hope that answers your question. How can I heal mommy issues as a woman? This is a very good question as well. Um, okay, I'm gonna go back to you, AO. So as it relates to mother wounds, I think the antidote to mother wounds is for you to provide care and nurturance to yourself. When we have issues with our mother, there usually is a lack of nurturance and care that we have received from her. And so, first, I would start with identifying that, if that's the case, and providing that for yourself. That means you have to be very gentle with yourself. That means you have to stop being hypercritical of yourself. There may be some behaviors that you have that are linked to you trying to manage your behavior based off of what she says. You're going to have to decenter your mom and her opinion, right? Again, going back to the F word, you're going to have to, in my opinion, forgive her. There's a lot of things that our parents may have done to us. Um, you know, and especially as it relates to your mom, it's very tricky because she's supposed to be the one that's supposed to love you, dote on you, admire you. She is supposed to sing songs to you and tell you how great you are. She is the one who's, especially as a woman, supposed to teach you about womanhood. And so you can look back on life and you can think, why my mama didn't tell me these things, or why didn't she teach me these things? Why did she handle me this way? Why was she jealous of me? Why did she compete with me? Why did she treat me differently than my siblings? And while you can go through all of those things, the main thing that I believe that you have to do is, one, recognize that she is a person who made a decision to show up like that in your life. Okay. She made the decision that that's the type of mother that she wanted to be, but that is not a reflection on you. Her showing up that way doesn't mean that you weren't valuable, doesn't mean that you weren't worthy of love and care and consideration. That's not what it means. And you have to separate her behavior from yourself. As people, it's normal for us to internalize the hurt that someone has caused to us, right? But you have to separate it. There may be some things that you have to look at and acknowledge that she's done to you, and you may even have to put boundaries in place. You may have to make the decision to separate yourself from her so that you can heal, so that you're not triggered. And also, you will have to manage the other people around you, because as it relates to relationships with our mothers in particular, people want to say, well, you only have one mom, and you have to honor your mother, but the fact is there's only one you too. And your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, all of that is very important. All of that is very important. AO, you said at yourself for not vetting these men. A lot of Black women, especially, we aren't taught what it means to vet a man. We aren't taught um the questions that we ask. Over here I always say that we mutually select our partner. You're so welcome, you're so welcome. And anybody else, if you have a question, we're doing live Q&A, so you could just ask me a question. As Black women, we aren't taught to vet men or ask them questions. There's certain things that we're taught, like, when you meet a man, don't tell him, what you're looking for in a man, because if you do, then he may be that person in order to trick you. But a man who wants to play you wants to play you. Hmm. And so I truly believe that if you're dating a man, any question that you have, you ask that man, and you listen to his response, you observe his behavior, and you move on from there. But also you pay attention to your body. Many of us aren't taught to pay attention to our body when we are dating people or when we're interacting with people, because your body is going to tell you if that person is safe or not. You ever met somebody be like, some off. I don't I don't I feel some type of way about them. And that's because your intuition is saying that this person is not safe. So you have to trust yourself, but don't you can't punish yourself as it relates to mistakes that you have made in your past. You have to release that. You have to forgive yourself. The woman you were in the last relationship that is toxic, that's not who you are today. And a lot of us are carrying a lot of guilt and a lot of shame because of past relationships, when really walk in the freedom of it. You're free from the toxic relationship. Pull the lessons from it, right? Learn how to vet men, or if in pulling the lesson from it, you now learn, like, these are certain questions that I'm going to ask him. I'll ask him about his past relationships, what he learned from the past relationship. People will ask you, okay, how did your last relationship end? But we don't ask the additional question of, well, what did you learn from that relationship, right? If he's like, in my last relationship, I was a workaholic, and I didn't give my previous spouse or partner enough time. Then the follow up question from you should be, well, tell me what you learned from that. What are you planning on doing differently now, if you should get married again, or if you should be in another relationship? Or is the expectation still for um your partner, your spouse, your woman, your wife to be second to your career, right? Be very intentional about asking questions in order to get to know this person. I really believe that you should date men and get to know them as a friend first in order to protect your heart, because I believe it was the Gottmans who said that um, the love between, like, for couples that they studied, those that had friendship, those are the ones that had the most long lasting relationships. And sometimes we rush into romance that we don't even realize if we vetted the person to determine if they're safe, if we really like them for who they are, or are we in a relationship because we like the potential and who we have made them to be. Okay. So yeah, don't be angry at yourself. We've all made that. We've all made that mistake. Hey, hey, tuning in. Hey, thank you, thank you. How do I move forward past resentments about being the good girl for everyone? I feel angry towards everyone. I'm not laughing at you. It's hitting me. Um, I feel angry towards everyone and don't feel connected to myself now that I don't identify with being good anymore. I was mentioning that previously. Hey, hey, Sister J, I was mentioning that previously, that we have been conditioned as women to take on certain roles. And I think you start with yourself first, right? Um, and giving yourself grace, because we were raised to be these type of women. We were raised to show up this way. We were taught this is what womanhood looks like. And it's not until you get older and you're able to critically think about and rationalize about how this is serving everyone else but you, that you say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not pleasing to me. I really believe that your life outside of you, if you believe in God, pleasing God, that your life next should be pleasing to you. Being self-sacrificing all the time. Now, there's some periods of time where you have to be self-sacrificing. I am a mother. Okay. So I have to make sacrifices for my son. But many of us sacrificed large parts of our life and our being even before we had children. We were raised to sacrifice, we were raised to give of ourselves, and we weren't even raised to receive. And that is very problematic because life should have reciprocity. It shouldn't be just you giving, giving, and giving, giving, and giving. And many of us were taught the more we gave, that, and to be patient, that then things were going to turn around and people were going to give to us. And that's just not the case. So, one, you have to give yourself grace. You have to realize that you were living a life that the blueprint was given to you, and the person who gave it to you may have truly believed that that way of life was beneficial. But also, right, you may even have to have some conversations with the people in your circle about how you were showing up. Hey, you're in Dallas? Hey. I love Dallas. I've been there twice. Um, yeah, so that's what I think that you do. Don't be angry towards everyone. Don't take it out. Some of our, especially as it relates to our mothers and our grandmothers, some of them have internalized these ways of thinking. They didn't grow up in our areas of social media. They didn't grow up with a lot of people, women talking online about this not being fair, this not being right, weaponized. Um, oh, Chicago in the house. I'm so jealous about Chicago, y'all. Our forever president that opened up his place, and y'all in Chicago. But our mothers didn't know, right? Our mothers didn't know. So give yourself grace. How long do you stay in a relationship without a ring? Give me some more details. I believe that women should have their own timeline, right? So, sorry, y'all, my lips are dry. I believe that women should have their own timeline. And just in case Ashley Dalton should come over here, I don't want her to be like, she over there and she ain't got no lip gloss on. Um, I believe that women should have their own timeline as it relates to how long they want to be in a relationship. I also believe that when two people choose each other, there's a natural progression as it relates from not being exclusive to being exclusive to marriage. I don't believe becoming exclusive with a man without having a conversation about marriage and being like, okay, so if we're going to be exclusive now, we are dating exclusively for the purpose of marriage. So, yeah, I would need a little bit more details about how long do you stay in a relationship without a ring. I also feel like if you have to ask that question, he told me he knows if you want to marry someone within the first 6 months. It's been 2 years for us. One thing I teach my ladies, right, is that men always announce what they're going to do before they do it. So if he told you he would know um within the first 6 months and it's been 2 years, then it's time for you to make a decision on, okay, I'll hold it. I'm holding it. It's time for you to make a decision on what it is that you want to do. I don't, it's time for you. This is the thing. You have one life. You have one life. And if you guys haven't had now 2 years, let me say this, 2 years is not a long time. If he said he knows within 6 months if he wants to marry someone else, but there has been no other conversation, bring up the conversation. Hey, when we met, you said you would know within 2 months. You would know within 6 months if you wanted to marry someone. It's been 2 years. So, what are your thoughts about you and I getting married? But I think this is also the thing, right? The purpose of the time is to get to know each other and to move towards marriage. So if it's not moving towards marriage, then what have we been doing with the past, let's say, 2 year and a half? Because after 6 months, then we should have been directing our efforts towards marriage, whether that is pre-engagement counseling, premarital counseling, really figuring out and hashing out how we want to do things, whether that's like how we're going to manage our finances, introducing each other to each other's families, beginning to blend our life. So I don't believe in just sitting idle. I believe in having conversations. This is your life. This is your life. You got to have those conversations. Okay. So let me know how that goes. Let me know how that goes. I think for many of us, and this goes back to our conditioning, we will start, hey Reba, hey Reba. I love Reba McIntyre. Um, hey Reba, I love it. Um, A lot of us as women have been you start dating a man and you're like, "Oh, what is gonna be the ring? What is gonna be the ring? What is gonna be the ring?" And it shouldn't be that way. When you start dating a man and you get exclusive with him, then we need to be having conversations about what life is gonna be like moving forward. And as a woman, I know many of us have been conditioned not to have these conversations, just to sit back and wait. But I don't believe about being passive in your life. You will go after anything else. You would go after anything else. So don't be passive in your life at all. Please don't do that. Because that's where I think, not the, that's where I think and know that some women become resentful because they're sitting in a relationship, waiting for him to make a decision on their life. It's your life. It's your life. And he gets the honor of you being his wife. Okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions? I did want to. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I really believe before you are, if you know you want to be married and you're dating a man who says he wants to be married, I really believe that before you go, you become exclusive, that you have the conversation about marriage. And it's understood that we are being exclusive because we are getting to know each other to determine if we want to be married to each other or not. And if we should decide that we aren't suitable and compatible for marriage, then we terminate the relationship. I did a training in the membership. So I don't know if on here you can see where it says join or not. But in the membership, I taught about being, yeah, there's a join button down below. But if you go to the computer, hey, North Carolina, that reminds me of that song of Petey Pablo. Y'all know I love a good song. Thank you, thank you. I love a good song. I'm not gonna sing because we may have some guests here, but I love a good song. That North Carolina song, back in the day, take your shirt off, spin around your head like a helicopter, baby. Okay. Um, okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm Francis. I'm Fran. I'm gonna say, I'm France. She said, I think she needs to come to her own conclusions at this point regarding his 6 months marriage timeline, and it's been 2 years. Absolutely. Thank you for the hearts. I absolutely feel the same way. I feel the same way as well. Um, but I, again, I, for you ladies that, watch me and interact with my content, I really want you to get to the place where you are able to verbalize what it is that you want for your life. Many of us have been taught to date passively, and I think that's what that ends up costing us in the end. It should be very clear. One of the Hill Squad members asked me to do a video of dating versus courting. And at the bottom line, I'll do the video, but the bottom line of it is courting from the get go. When you're courting someone, it is for marriage. It's for marriage. And it's very clear that it's for marriage. It's open in that you guys have other people, like trusted family, trusted friends as a part of the process. But it's understood that we're getting to know each other in order to be married, not that we're going to court for, it's just very clear. And I would hope that every woman would want to experience that, and that you know and you're clear. I believe husbands come with clarity. They come with clarity, not confusion. Not confusion. Right? Well, that was a good question. That was a good question. Any other questions you guys have tonight? I hope you guys had a great holiday. For those of you that are just coming in, we're doing a Q&A. I'm trying to I try to practice going live because this is not something that I do all the time. I was telling the ladies earlier that I prefer to record than post it versus going live. But I hope you guys are all doing well. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll take a few more. I don't want to be on. Well, I'm not saying I don't want to be on here long. I wasn't planning on being on here long. I've had a long day today, out, not really partying. I wish I could, but been out most of the day. I've been married 13 years, been unhappy for the last 6 years. My question is, why do I feel guilty wanting to leave my marriage? He does not want the marriage to be over. You may need a coaching call. because I don't know, even though you've been unhappy the last 6 years, I don't know what's causing you to be unhappy. I don't know how old you are. Like, let's say, for instance, you've been married for 13 years. Let's say you got married at 27, that would make you 40. Um, 40, I believe, is a pivotal age for women, right? I believe at the age of 40, and I'm just saying this because I'm 38 and I'm knocking on it. I believe when you get to 40, you are very secure in yourself. You are wanting to pivot as relates to maybe career. You are thinking about the latter years of your life and how you want that to be. And so I think 40 is a year. I think that people really begin to take you seriously and respect you, right? Because in your 20s, you're young, in your 30s, it's like, but when you get 40, people really begin to see you as an adult and take you seriously, especially as a woman if you're married and have children. So I would just need to know why. But also the other thing is, if there's this propaganda that's taught to women that if he's not beating you or cheating on you, then you should stay in a marriage or you should stay in a relationship. But emotional neglect, the lack of care, um, all of that plays a role in wanting to leave a marriage. If you are overgiving, if you are abandoning yourself, if you don't feel like there's a partnership between you and your husband, that can also make you want to leave. But because we have been conditioned, or society says, well, hey Trinidad, but because society says, and those are very extremes, right? It's an extreme that a man has to be physically abusive. It's an extreme that a man has to cheat on you in order for it to be justified for you to leave a relationship. That means he can be emotionally neglective. He can be emotionally neglectful. He can be financially irresponsible. He can do many things, and you still stay in the relationship. So I wouldn't be able to answer really why you feel guilty, without knowing the intricate details of what's going on. But I would just encourage you that if you and your husband are willing to go to couples counseling, couples therapy, to see if the two of you can heal and repair the marriage, if you are open to that. I know sometimes people are, they're done, they're finished. So much has happened. 6 years is a lot of life. Again, I don't know how old you are, but there are I remember Michelle Obama, right, saying there was a period of 10 years where she was unhappy in her marriage. And so after that, I don't know if they went to therapy. I don't know what work they did, but it could be a season, right? But, I would just encourage you to, and also if you have children, I would like to know if you have children, but I would encourage you to go to couples therapy if he is willing. And if he wants to save his marriage, then I believe that he would be willing to go to couples therapy. Now, if he doesn't want to go to couples therapy, because sometimes people are like, we can work it out ourselves, I don't want no one in our business, then that will be, that would that would be problematic for me. Okay. Mm, I am licensed in Alabama and I am licensed in Georgia to provide therapy. Okay. Did that answer your question, home with three? And one thing about guilt, let me teach you this. And this is just for anyone in general. Guilt and shame are adaptive emotions, meaning that the purpose of it is for that you to change your behavior. But they also can be maladaptive emotions in that we can experience a false guilt. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I snap at my son. I may say, I should have talked to him better. I feel guilty. So I go to him and I say, babe, I'm sorry for talking to you like that. Okay, that's how guilt is supposed to work. A false guilt could be based off of conditioning, okay? Um, I just want to say thank you for all your videos. I just recently started watching your channel. You have helped me. You're so welcome. Come to so many realizations so that I can heal and become a better version of me. Great. You're welcome, Danica. You're welcome. Do you have any question? Okay. My wife is looking to send my daughter to Christian school. We are not a believing family, but she feels it would make her a good person. Um, this is what I believe, right? I have my son in a Christian private school. I believe that you can hold a Christian school to a different standard that you can a public school. I'm not sure what country you live in. I'm not going to say that because she goes to a Christian school, it will make her a good person. I'm not going to say that because, as my friend Tia says, that there are some people that are just good by nature than Christians are by practice. Christianity is a religion, and I am a Christian that you have to practice it. Okay, and there are some people who say they are Christian, but they don't practice. They don't do what the Bible tells them that we are supposed to do. Right? We are supposed to take care of the orphan. We are supposed to take care of the widow. We are supposed to take care of the homeless. And sometimes we don't do the things that we are supposed to. So if anything, right, I would, I'm guessing you're the father since you said your wife, but I can't really see your photo. I would encourage you to go to the school. I would encourage you to get a feel for it. But also, I believe every family has the responsibility to teach their children morality and integrity. I believe that we are the first teachers of our children. And so that is on us. But I do believe that Christian environments are different than, I would say, like, because I live in the US, I don't know if you do, are different than public school. So, I would get with your wife and talk to her to get her rationale and her understanding of why she wants to do this. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I believe that the onus of our children growing up to be good people, we want to have them in healthy environments, but we want to also make sure that we are instilling in them as it relates to their character, integrity, morality. I really believe that's our responsibility. But we find environments and people to support us in doing that for our children. So yeah. So yeah. I don't know if there's a delay on my side. Any other questions you guys have? I don't wanna. Okay. Well, if that's it, y'all, thank you so much for rocking with me tonight. I hope you guys have a super great holiday. And if there's any fathers, I think uh if there's any fathers, I wish you guys a happy, happy Father's Day on Sunday. I hope you guys get good gifts. Not just a tie or some socks. I hope you guys, your loved ones, your children, and your loved ones spoil you on your Father's Day. No, well, go ahead and ask your question, Raven. If you have a question, go ahead and ask it. But you can always watch the replay. But if you have a question, go ahead and ask it. I'll stay so you can ask. So you can ask your question. Raven came and like, now I missed another live. Maybe I need to post that I'm going to go live, but it's kind of spontaneous. But oh, you don't have any question? Oh, well, just go back and watch. Just go back and watch. Okay. But thank you for joining me. All right. I love you guys so much. Um, what's tomorrow? Saturday? I was gonna say maybe I'll come live Saturday, but I may not. I may not come live on Saturday. But what I will do in the future is I will put a post up that I'm coming live. And if you're subscribed, you should see that I made the post. But also make sure your notification bell is on. That way you're notified as it relates to whenever I release a new video and when I have a post. Okay. Are your nails full set? Yes, my nails are a full set. They're my birthday nails. They are acrylic. They are acrylic. Acrylic. They are acrylic. Oh, love you, Morgan. Love you, Morgan. Y'all, that's my friend Morgan. She took care of me last year when I was going through breast cancer. She took me to chemo multiple times. She took me to chemo. She took me to get my port place. Or my port's on this side. She took me to get my port place. She held me down. So y'all show her some love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, what I was saying is that Gel-X is too soft for me. So I prefer acrylic because I can type and do everything that I need to do. Gel-X, we don't get along. I've been I break those nails. So so yeah. All right. But I love y'all and I will talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for the compliments. This is gonna be my new look for the summer. I'm trying to be a blonde bombshell for the summer. For the summer. But I love y'all so much. I'll probably have another video up tomorrow or Sunday and I'll talk to y'all later, okay? But you guys can if there is a specific video that you want me to do, just go to one of my videos. If there's a topic, and you could just make a new comment on the video that you want me to do. Or also, I have a community page that you can type, you can send a message on you, or you can post. Let me say it that way. You can post on the community page any topics that you want me to discuss, and I'll discuss them there. Now, let me say this as it relates to topics. One thing I'm learning as, I guess, as a content creator is that I see, well, let me say it this way. I've made content about people, right? Like I made content about Meg the Stallion, Tina Campbell, not about them personally, but things that I see. Sometimes, but what I'm seeing now quite often is that creators are becoming the content. And what I don't want, thank you, Jane. What I don't want to do is ever be offensive to someone. So, what I may do if you say, can you discuss such and such situation? I may just discuss the situation without the person, right? Because I don't want to be offensive to someone to hurt them. And I see online and I've experienced it that especially with parasocial relationships that people will attack, they'll be unkind, they'll post people address, they'll send death threats, and I don't want to add on to the piling on of others. So if you have something like there's a scenario that you want me to discuss, I'll gladly discuss the scenario, but I don't want to hurt or harm anyone. And I see that happening. And we have, at the end of the day, when we're speaking about someone specifically, we have to realize that they are a person. And when I meet the Lord, I don't want, there's certain things I'm just not going to give account for. Okay. Let me just say it that way. There's just certain things I'm not going to give account for. I don't want him looking at me like, Cynthia, you said ABC 1 2 3 about this person, and that's my child. And you was off. Okay. So, anywho, I love y'all so much. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I'll try to record and have a video up tomorrow. And I promise the next time I go live to post so that you guys have some heads up. But I hope you guys have had a great day. Talk to you later. This is Healing New Sexy.